Hey guys, welcome to my channel Programming Experience with Dimple Arora. Let's begin our Python programming course with the introductory session on Python basics. This session is for Python programmers who are looking forward for a quick start towards developing Python programs. I'm sure you all will come to know about these best practices in programming and start developing small to complex programs in a short span of time. In this session, we are going to learn about what a program is, what do you mean by a language, what is a programming language, and some important terms like high level language, machine language, compiler, interpreter, which are used while we are dealing with a programming language. So, this is a small program written in Python. So, what is a program is? To know that, we must understand that computers, tablets, mobiles have become an integral part of our lives and help us to accomplish our day-to-day simple to complex tasks in fractions of seconds by just some clicks. But all these gadgets can't do anything by their own. They need to be given some instructions. These instructions are given in a step-by-step manner to perform the intended task, and these related set of instructions is called a program. So you can see here I have written A is equal to input enter value, B is input enter value. So input is used to give a prompt to the user to give a value. When the user presses a key or gives a value, that is converted to an integer and stored in A. The second value is stored in B, and when we write C is equal to A plus B, the A summation of A and B is done and the result is stored in C, and we have an output statement sum is equal to C. So these are the set of instructions which are followed by the Python program to find the sum of two numbers. So this is an example of a program. So in everyday life we come across various problems. We try to solve them by a step by step procedure. We jot down the steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, and these steps to find a solution to a program is called an algorithm. And when we do a pictorial representation, provide a pictorial representation to the same, we say it is a flow chart. And when we code it using a language like Python, C++ or Java, we say that is a programming language. We can see here the terms variable, if, for, print, which are common English terms. So languages are, programming languages are have the English like terms which are easily understandable by the user. But what is this? This is language of zeros and ones. These zeros and ones is the language of computers or the all the electronic devices which understands 1 and 0, and that is understood by the machine and it provides a solution to it, which is again sent back to the user for review. So this way actually the programming happens. A program is an executable code set of related instructions to perform a specific task, and a language is a method of communication and consists of symbols and rules that governs the language. Like I am talking to you now in English. There is a This English is an interface between you, the viewers, and myself. We both understand English, then only we can communicate. And I use the vocabulary, the alphabets A, B, C, D, and the vocabulary, the grammars of the language English to form the sentences, so that which makes you understand what I am saying. So language act as a interface. So what happens when we want to have an interface with the computer? So when we want to have an interface with the computer, we want to have languages. So initially when computers were developed, there was only the low level language or the machine language, the level of language of zeros and one. Gradually which was converted into symbolic language called the assembly language, and then came the concept of high level languages which are quite similar to English like languages, which are very easily understandable by the user. So a programming language is nothing but a set of instructions written to implement algorithm so that it produces various kind of outputs. There are several type of programming language available nowadays, and Python is one of the most popular language. Python focuses on problem solving and is very widely used for simple codes, GUI application, data science, artificial intelligence, scientific numeric applications, web development, game development, enterprise level business applications, image processing, graphic design softwares, language development, and web scraping applications. But the computer understands zeros and ones, and the user understands the high level language like Python. So how to go about it, how they can interface? So they need some translation is required from converting high level to low level and from converting low level to high level. To cater that need, we have softwares like compiler and interpreters. So high level languages like Python contain easy to read syntax and are user friendly, and it is simple to understand, debug and maintain a program and written in English like language. And but the only drawback is we need to translate it into a high language. So two such translators are compilers and interpreters. Compiler converts a high level language written, all the codes written, you can see all the codes written, they are translated by, suppose this is the compiler, it is translated, all the statements are fed it or sent to this compiler, and they are all converted at once in a one go in a other form or the machine code. But in case of an interpreter, the interpreter listens to one instruction, convert to machine language, then come back to another second instruction, then translate it, listens for instruction one by one, and gives back as feedback in machine language. Interpreter translates single statement of a source program into machine code and executes it immediately. If there is an error in the statement, the translation is printed and error message gets displayed. Once the error is removed by the programmer, then only the interpreter moves to the next line of code. An interpreter directly executes statements written in programming language. Coming to the historical background of Python language, it was developed by Guido van Rossum in 1989 and at National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science in Netherlands. This Python language is derived from many other languages including ABC, Modular 3, C, C++, Algol 68, Smalltalk, Unix Shell, and other scripting languages. Let us learn about features of Python. Python is easy, means it has a simple structure and very few keywords and simplified syntax which can be easily learned by the user, and user can start writing small programs very quickly. So Python is free and open source, which means it is freely available on the official website www.python.org and can be downloaded. It can be changed, modified and redistributed. It is a high level language having all the features, and also it is object oriented language also, so that the various features can be embedded and encapsulated into the objects to be used later on. Python is portable as it is written in one portal or one operating system like Windows, and the same code can be ported to other platforms like Linux, iOS and Android, and there also the program works very well with the interface of the platforms. It is extensible. Extensible means we can create our own tools, our own modules and make them a part of Python library, and then use them as normal built-in Python modules. It is very expressive as it has simple terms and simple statements like the other languages C++ have, but we can also write some part of the code in C++, so which makes him more expressive. It is interpreted means it is processed at runtime. All the instructions are processed at runtime by the interpreter. Internally, the source code gets converted into an intermediate code called the bytecode, which take care of linkage to libraries. It is dynamically typed as the data type of the values is determined at the runtime, not in advance. So we do not worry about the variable declarations. The GUI programming interface. The Python provides many modules like tkinter, yxpython and jpython which supports GUI application development. The tools present in these modules, tkinter, wxpython, helps to develop easy and fast GUI programs. And Python has a large standard library which makes user to develop very quick programs without much effort and makes their coding easy. So this is how you can install Python on your systems. You can go to a website python.org. There on downloads you can click, and from there you can select your operating system, Windows, Mac OS or other platforms, and then you can see here a button with the Python 3.3 download for Windows. We can click on it and a file python 3.83.exe will get downloaded, and when we click on it, it will start installing Python. But here we have to note something. There will be two check boxes when at the first screen of installation. One is install launcher for free users. This is automatically checked, but the other one, add Python 3.82 path, is not checked. Make sure you check this Python so that the path settings are automatically done and the user need not worry about the path settings things if he or she is a beginner in programming. So this is a mandatory thing. Now coming to how Python works. When we install the Python, as soon as we open the Python idle software, we get this shell or this Python interface or the interactive mode of Python. In this one, we write one statement, immediately we get the output. Like when I have written type n1, it is giving int. When I write type n2, it is giving class int2. So when we run it in a interactive mode, we get an immediate feedback for each statement written while running previously fed statements in active memory. So when I am writing then n1 is equal to 17, n2 is equal to 2. So these values n1 and n2 are stored in the active memory, so that when I am writing type n1, it is giving me the type of 17, which is the value for n1, and when I am writing type of n2, it is giving me the type of value 2. So when I am doing this writing this expression d is equal to ny by n2, which results in a floating point value. So the result when I am writing type of d, it is giving me float. So this way as soon as we write a statement, we get a feedback. This involves running our code directly on Python shell and is suitable for few lines of code only. Editing is not possible. If we do any mistake while writing, instead of n1, if I write n is equal to 17, and here if I write type n1, it will give error. So I have to be very careful when I am giving values to whenever I am writing a statement in an interactive mode. So the other mode in which we write a program in Python is called the script mode. This is the script mode in which we click on this file and click on a new submenu, and we get a file like this. There we write our instructions. All the instructions are written into a file. We give a name to this file. suppose I give sum of num. Sum of num is the name of this file. I write all the instruction, save it in the file. The file gets saved with a .py extension. So right now the name of the file is x1. So x1.py is the name of the file, and when I execute it, it show me the results. So when I work in a script mode, then the saved instructions are known as Python script or Python program. So whatever instruction you can see here, this A is equal to input enter a value, B is equal to input enter a value, C is equal to A plus B, print sum is equal to 3. This all statements together comprise a program or a Python script. And these Python scripts are used to write long Python codes, and script mode provides flexibility for editing. If we do a mistake in this, we can open the file again, make changes into it, and remove all the errors, save it again, and we can execute it again. So these two are the modes in which we work on Python. Thank you.